Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Trading Bitcoin with me, your host, Tone Vase. As you can see by the background, I am now in a different place of Thailand. I'm gonna try not to talk too loud. There's like a pool right behind me, and it's like a Zen environment, and there's people swimming. So maybe I'll show you a picture on the video. Probably should have done this inside, but I don't know. I like doing these outdoors for some reason. This way I don't feel like I'm cooped up in the house. Cool place. Probably as I'm leaving, I'll tell you guys where I am, but some people know where I am. Anyway, let's jump right into screen share. I'm already kicking you off with about 200 live viewers, and then we'll do some Q&A. We're going to go straight into the Bitcoin charts. Let's see what's going on. I guess the sound is good and the video is good, right, guys? I have pretty good internet here. Yeah, let's do it. As always, I show you my website. DLA event is getting full. I think we're down to about 5 or 4 seats out of 30 seats. I had to expand the venue. The venue is in downtown LA, but there's no reason to inform everyone where it is unless you've actually signed up. To sign up, you can shoot me an email or just connect with me on Telegram. I kind of do everything on Telegram these days, so you can go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you the payment information. Let's see if I make my screen brighter here. Okay. A mempool. Let's talk about the mempool. Bitcoin transactions are dirt cheap right now. Dirt cheap. Like it's almost free. Oh, all right. It's moving my monitors here. Bitcoin transactions are almost free right now. So it frustrates me how silly people are that don't pay attention to what actually goes on. And they just regurgitate the bullshit that Gavin Andreessen and Mike Hearn started in 2015, that Bitcoin needs a bigger block size and that transactions are too expensive. Their followers were then spamming the shit out of the Bitcoin blockchain. Hey, thank you, Ron, for your very generous donation in the Google chat. Let me know if you have a question. If you have a question, I'll gladly answer it for you. Very, very generous of you. Like, look at the unconfirmed transaction count. It's so freaking small, okay? I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is ridiculous. This is what happens when spam goes away, because don't tell me the argument that everyone is using Btrash all of a sudden, okay? That everyone is using NAM all of a sudden. We'll get to NAM. Yeah, so like stop buying into the bullshit. Understand the difference between real demand for crypto payments and spam from bad actors that have to push their coin. They're pushing their coin on you because that coin is so centralized to a few people. You are enriching them by buying into their bullshit, okay? I'm not actually sure why TradeBlock is showing you 70 Satoshis per byte as an average transaction when there's only 200, when there's only 2,000 and a half transactions left in the mempool, okay? And thank you, Henry, for your generous donation in Hong Kong dollar terms. I'll be in Hong Kong for like 1 day as I go back to the US, but I might just keep it low and not actually, you know. I know I got a lot of friends in Hong Kong. I probably shouldn't have even said that. Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure why TradeBlock has this listed as 70 Satoshis per byte. I honestly think that if you're sending transactions right now at 20 Satoshis per byte, you're going to get them confirmed fairly quickly. In fact, I got a message last night. Someone sent me a transaction that was very... I'm going to check right now, actually, on my phone. Someone sent me a transaction with specifically a very cheap transaction fee, and I want to see if it cleared. The problem, not a problem. I'm in a great apartment. I'll show you guys a video when I turn on the video. The minor problem with this apartment is that the bedroom has no windows, and if the bedroom has no windows, I don't. The sun doesn't get to wake me up, so I have no idea what time it is in the morning when I open my eyes. Yeah, so someone said they sent a very cheap transaction last night. So the Bitcoin fee that the person paid was 0.000015, and that cleared almost instantly. Okay, so if we convert, that's 4 zeros and a 15. I'm going to grab my calculator. So the price of Bitcoin right now is 11,000, and we're doing 0.000015. Wait, 4 zeros or 3 zeros? 4 zeros. Okay, so the person sent me a transaction paying a 16-cent fee, and it cleared last night. Okay, so don't give me bullshit about... Oh, did I put an extra zero in there? No, wait. Yeah, no, it was 4 zeros, guys. It's yeah, 16 cents. 16-cent transaction fee, right? So I was able to get a Bitcoin transaction yesterday with a 16-cent fee, okay? So again, don't give me bullshit that the fees are too high, because this is the normal environment. We didn't have 100 times more demand for crypto payments 2 months ago. In fact, we should probably have more demand for crypto payments every single month. So the moment you see the Bitcoin fee go down from $20 a transaction to 15 cents a transaction, the only logical explanation is that the mempool was being spammed, or maybe Coinbase figured out how to batch transactions, and maybe they started SegWit and blockchain.info did. I don't know, right? But this is the normal environment, all right? Well, that's because the exchanges don't adopt as quickly, right? So if an exchange is charging you like $50 to withdraw your coins, that means the exchange is being a little lazy in checking every day what the reasonable fee is to send your transaction, okay? The transaction that I got, just so you guys know, was 250 bytes in size, okay? It was a 250 byte transaction, and the fee was 16 cents. And it got confirmed. I mean, I was asleep when it got confirmed, but it got confirmed fairly quickly, probably within an hour or two, okay? Right? So if some exchange is charging you more than $1 or $2 today to withdraw your money, that means the exchange isn't doing its proper due diligence in identifying a reasonable amount of transaction fee. The exchange should also be using a replace by fee wallet. Green Address, which I use more and more these days, has a replace by fee. So if I ever send a transaction that doesn't confirm fairly in a reasonable time, I can always go and replace that fee with a higher fee, okay? That's the reality of the situation. And I knew this reality, this entire time, like for this entire, over the last year. But most people buy into the bullshit that someone else is telling them, and they are incapable of thinking for themselves, nor listening to people that are smarter than them that try to explain this to them. They listen to, whoever screams the loudest on television. instead of actually doing that. Okay, so someone said that Bittrex withdrawal is 0.001. So let me see how much that is. So 11,000 is the price of Bitcoin, 0.001. So their fee is $11. They can cut that in half easy, and right now in the current environment, right? They have to make that fee be dynamic. They can't make that fee. They can't make that fee static. It has to be dynamic, and it has to adjust with the environment in the code, right? Like, look, BitMax is overcharging right now. They're overcharging 0.003. They're charging you $33 to withdraw your Bitcoin when $2 will probably clear just as fast, right? I mean, that's not a Bitcoin problem. That's a human problem. That's an exchange problem. That's a developer problem. Okay, yeah, use the BitMax minimum, right? Use their minimum right now. You'll be able to get your money out, right? Oh, there we go. This is more like it. Like, I don't know why this at 70. Maybe someone from TradeBlock is watching and they took a look. Maybe they had a bug. That's more like it, right? Like 13 Satoshis per byte. That is insanely small. Insanely small, okay? I mean, again, $1, $2 will get your transaction in right now. Yeah, I'm sorry if you can't send your friend $2. And you probably could. You can try. But that's spamming the mempool, right? I mean, we've passed the days where you're sending a person 50 cents to show them how Bitcoin works. We're done with that. Stop wasting your time. Either people figure this out by now or they're not. All right. I still haven't even read this article, but I keep pimping it. Bitcoin Lightning Network made easy. It was recommended to me by people I trust. So I'm sure it's a good article. All right. It's not in the description of this video, but it's in the description of my other videos. You can always Google for the title. All right. Let's talk about the price of Bitcoin. So I had a fairly annoying trip yesterday from one part of Thailand to another. The boat that I was supposed to take got there like an hour and a half late. So I got, waiting there on the beach. Then the boat landed a few hours later. I got to where I was going, and they didn't have enough taxis because, like, taking you to where you're staying was part of the price. So I decided to be cheap and not, double pay and then, like, get my own taxi. So I had to wait there like 40, 45 minutes for a taxi. And a taxi, anyway, there was lots of traffic. It was just a very annoying commute. And then when I got here, I had to, do a couple of things. So I couldn't get a video out. And I was up to like 4 or 5 in the morning trading traditional markets, which I'm not going to talk about much. But basically, I have a very small window. You know what? I'm going to put the camera on. Before we get to the price. I have a very small window for traditional trading. Like, if I wasn't this busy doing content for crypto, I would probably be trading this entire month as of 2 weeks ago for 2 more weeks. And I would probably enter about 10 trades. Now, I am not able to do that because I travel too much. I don't have time. So I've narrowed my trading down to pretty much 1 trade per quarter. And last night, no, guys, I didn't get laid last night. I'm a virgin, guys. Didn't you guys know that? So I do. I'm a crypto nerd. Thank you for inquiring, though. So I've narrowed my traditional trading to 1 trade per quarter, but it has to be the perfect trade. It has to be a trade where I can put almost my entire account balance on it, like my entire retirement account. So last night, which was Friday morning in New York, but Friday night here in Thailand, I had to manage and enter that one trade, because if I didn't enter it last night, it was probably going to get away from me. Okay, it's an earnings play. It's a mechanical earnings play, but I can't like automate it. So it has to be manual. There's a lot of intricacies involved. Uh, Multiple option leg spread trade. I mean, I'm hedged all the way around, upside, downside, everything. So that's what I was doing last night, basically till like 4 in the morning, lagging into this massive single trade. And if it doesn't work out, I'll blow up my entire retirement account. But it always works out, because that I wouldn't be entering such a massive trade if it wasn't going to work out. And that's as much detail as I'm going to give you guys. All right, so that's why there was no video yesterday. But my prior video with Van Zandt was absolutely awesome. I didn't even expect it to be that good. So if you haven't watched the On the Record with Van Zandt, please watch it. It was a really great video. I got to have him on again. I think we're probably going to make it like an annual thing, getting together here in Thailand and like discussing trading, because that was it was good. We had like a lot to discuss as far as trading goes in this environment in crypto. So that was really, really cool. All right. Here's the weekly chart of Bitcoin, and nothing has changed, right? You have this, tight candle inside a big drop candle. The weekly chart went bearish around $13,000. And below 13,000, the long-term view of Bitcoin is going to remain bearish, okay? And the volatility this week is significantly smaller than the volatility last week. So let me move my computer up a little bit because I'm sitting back in the chair. All right. The volatility this week is significantly smaller than the volatility last week. So let's see what next week brings us, okay? But the weekly chart isn't is still the same. Now, someone messaged me the other day. Look at the three-month chart, right? Well, before we look at the 3-month chart, let's glance at the monthly chart. I think I have a standalone, but I'm just gonna do this, right? So the monthly chart gave us a 9. And this is where the tone-based time indicator differs from the traditional DeMark indicator, in that the traditional DeMark indicator would have given you this 9, and then it would not have given you any other numbers, in fact, right? I took a close look at, because some of the intricacies of the DeMark indicator, they're not really public. They're not really listed. So it's a little tricky. But there's a prerequisite. In order to get a 9 count, like you see this 9, you needed a price flip. Like you can only start a green 9 count after a red number, and you can only start a red count to a 9 after a green number. So you cannot have a green 9 immediately following a green 9 without a single red number on top of a candle. So that means for the last 18, 19, for the last 20 candles, the original indicator did not have a single setup number on top of it. And I think that is bad, because it doesn't help you in your trading. I would rather drop that prerequisite and still have my buy and sell criteria. Like this red 9 with an arrow was a sell for me, which turned out to be accurate. This was a decent drop from 1,300 down to 900. That was like a 40% fall. And then I was able to get back into the market at 1,350 very, very safely, and took my profit around, this 11,000 mark. I mean, I was calling for it a little bit earlier. And now we're, slowing down a little bit. We hit this trend line and we've slowed down. So someone wanted me to take a look at the 3-month chart. I haven't looked at it yet, guys, so I'm seeing it for the first time. I'll even add it. So this is what someone wanted to show me, right? like I know this is busy now because we're looking at a 3-month view. So the 3-month view, this is also rough because Bitstamp doesn't start as early as it should. Let me do something different here. Hold on a second. Let me open up my monthly Bitcoin chart. The reason for that is because it's on an index, and because it's monthly, you know, the day-to-day, it only updates daily. So for long-term views, it's fine. Where's my monthly Bitcoin chart? I thought I had it saved. This is unfortunate. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. No, that's my own Gox. Damn. I don't want to use this one. Oh, but no, because that's also Bitstamp. I think that's Bitstamp. Shoot. Let me try. Oh, you know what? Let me try this. BLX. Damn, still no monthly. Shoot. Oh, here it is, Bitcoin monthly. I don't know why it's set to daily though. This might be it. I have to make it monthly. All right, let's take a look at this, only because the history goes back further, right? The history goes back further than Bitstamp history. This goes to 2010 instead of, you know, to here. So what I want to do is indicators, my scripts, backtest. All right, what's going on? Why isn't it doing anything? Oh, there it is. Just took a while. Oh, what the hell happened now? All right, hold on. Here. Settings. Symbol and description, indicator values, goals. Oh, why did it disappear? Bad. Oh, let's do it again. Let's do this again. Backtest. There it is. Now we're working. So this has a little bit of a further history. And you can see how we had a 9 in this massive bubble here. And on Mt. Gox, this was a 9, because on Mt. Gox, which was the dominant exchange at the time, this is actually, and that's 7, and that's 8. So the 2013 all-time high was was actually at a monthly 9 using Mt. Gox charts. Okay, and that's why I would have when you have one random red number in the middle of an uptrend, I ignore it. I treat it as you know, a count in a green cycle. Kind of unfortunate that we missed being a 9 by literally a couple of bucks. But it would have been beautiful to have a green arrow right here. Here's a monthly chart. And the reason I'm doing it is because I'm going to go to a 3-month chart. The thing here. Oh, yeah, because I can't go to. All right. So 3 months. Let's add that in. Right. So the reason why I wanted this is because I wanted a history that's further back, right? Again, this is one of those unfortunate situations where Bitcoin being the 24/7 market, a random red one, like what happened the month of April 2012, I would think to myself as this is happening, how close was this to being like it's an uptrend? We're in an uptrend. So if this uptrend was just 9 candles, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 would have gotten you one candle earlier. But this still got you a 9 over here, which would have been a decent exit at 600 bucks or so after the high of 1300, 1200, I mean, in 2013. So, you know, a 50% correction, but hey, we went all the way down to 150. The reason why someone wanted me to look at the 3-month chart is because the 3-month chart gave us a 9 with a red arrow, and now we're coming down. Now, I don't know how important the 3-month chart actually is. Like, it's a quarterly chart, right? And quarterly somewhat matters. If I switch this to yearly, just so you guys know, we're not even close to a 9 on the yearly. Even if you add one more year for to 2010, you're only on a 6. So you still have multiple years to go. But anyway, this is my monthly chart. And this is what we have, you know, a bunch of red arrows, but we'll see. We're consolidating. All right, that's about it. Let's just wanted to point that out. Let's go. This is supposed to be my weekly chart, so I'll leave it at weekly before I confuse myself. So the weekly chart remains bearish. There is nothing I can do about that. Let's go to the daily. The daily is where all of the interesting things are. Actually, the 4-hour is where all the interesting stuff is happening, right? A couple of videos ago, I explained this bull trap, okay, and why the traditional you know, classic bubble patterns have the word bull trap in the wrong place. They have the word bull trap down here. And down here is not a bull trap, because if you went long in this area of 11,000 Bitcoin, you did insanely well going into 18,000. Now, you may have gotten greedy and not taken profit, but that's fine. But this is not, I'm sorry, this down here is not the bull trap. This is the bull trap, okay? And Van Zandt explained why he was able to avoid the bull trap, which, you know, kind of made me rethink the whole Elliott wave that I consider garbage. But maybe I'll, next time I, you know, spend a week with Van Zandt, maybe I'll use it as a, maybe I'll pay him a week of consulting to learn something, right? Hey, we're never beyond learning, right? You just have to make sure that and Van Zandt is learning the market indicator from me, right? He never used this before. He was familiar with it, but he's gonna see if this is useful for him, and maybe one day I'll see if Elliott waves are useful for me. We'll find out, right? It was beyond learning, but hey, we can always improve. But anyway, so this is the true bull trap, right? And I explained it in a prior video titled Bull Trap. Now we remain in this descending triangle on a daily chart. Now, just because we bounced this triangle, that we're breaking out. The 128-day moving average continues to go up. The 50-day moving average has now fallen below a very critical Fibonacci line. I mean, become bullish until we break out of this triangle and probably break out of this horizontal support. Now, I can't stress this enough, guys. Times Bitcoin tests $10,000. The weaker $10,000 support becomes. It's kind of like a very old trampoline that hasn't been used in like years. And then you jump on this trampoline and it bounces you high, and then, hey, this thing is not very stable. And you jump, you bounce a little less. And then the third time you jump, you fall back to it, it jumps a little less until, and when you jump on it and you rip and your face hits the ground. That is what happens with support lines. This 10,000, and we pierced it for a minute right on January 17th. It and bounced off of what seems to be a very useful 128-day moving average. Thank you for that, for those that that was the strongest bounce you're going to get in this current swing, not only off of the 10,000, but also off of the 9,200, 128-day moving average. If we're about 4 days away from the 128-day moving average being at $10,000. If there's another catalyst to the downside and we get back to $10,000 and the 128-day moving average, we're probably going to crash below it, right? And if Bitcoin starts to fall below 10,000, panic is going to set in, right? There's me saying it is not FUD. It's not scaring people. People that the probability that is that we go down, because again, watch the video with Van Zen. We both did not expect Bitcoin to go above $7,500 last year. We both expected 7,500 to be pretty much the top. This move to the upside was insane, blow off top. And we're dealing with its ramifications. It's not Wall Street. It's not the futures. It's none of that right now. Granted, there is short-term volatility when it comes to future expiration. There is gonna be short-term volatility. To separate long-term manipulation from short-term, opportunistic market manipulation, from long-term systematic theory crap, right? You have to separate. So you can blame the futures all you want is during expiration, but that's it. That's as far as it goes. There's no control otherwise, okay? Chart is actually in the middle of nowhere because we had the price flip and now we have a tight candle within a bigger candle. So what you're looking for here, and this candle has just started, right? Because on New York time. So what you're looking for now, and look, this yellow box has been here for a while. This has been my subcritical support zone, and we're right on top of the box. So what you're looking for here is you're basically trying to time some short trades. Do we have move to the upside? Can we go to 12,000 and stay within the bearish trend? Of course, right? Out of the bearish trend is if we go above the highs of January 20th. And those highs are in the vicinity of $12,000 to $13,000. So let's go in the middle here. Let's go. No, 12,500 is too low. Like we're talking 12,750 bucks. Like the high on January 20th was $13,017. So I would literally need to see Bitcoin of 13,000 to be bullish again. As long as Bitcoin is staying below 13,000 for the next few weeks, maybe even the next month, I will remain bearish on Bitcoin, where your probability is the continuation of the downside. I was a bull. Oops. I was a bull here, and that cost my reputation of being a good analyst because I got caught on this bull trap. Okay, so I don't want to hear from anyone that I'm driving the market down. Okay, if anything, I was too bullish in this area here, thinking that hey, we could have bottomed off of this beautiful triple support between the setup trend dotted line, the Fibonacci line, and the 50-day moving average. And then we had, a higher low. But this is that tricky situation where you had a higher low, but you had a lower close. I hate these things. I really, really hate them. And they led me to draw this symmetric triangle that we've now broken to the downside, okay? The 4-hour chart is the really cool one, right? So the other day, so now we're on the 4-hour chart. So the other day, I did a video on the 24th or 25th because that's where I drew the arrow. I did a video on the 25th. Oh no, sorry, this is still 24th. It's 4-hour chart. On the 24th of January, and I drew this red arrow. And granted, this was a horrible day that probably stopped everyone out. There's nothing I can do about that, right? But this day took us right back into the symmetric triangle, which was already drawn. We hit my target perfectly, absolutely perfectly, okay? Like, was it easy to trade from 11,600 down into the target of 10,400? No, it was incredibly difficult to trade this short trade. Would I have, if I was actually trading the short trade, would I have profited from this trade? The answer is I don't know, right? I probably would have been stopped out, okay? Because my initial stop loss would have been just above the 9. But I probably would have lowered the stop loss to above this 4 candle here in my trading. I probably would have done that. Okay, let me make it blue. I probably would have lowered my stop loss to here. Therefore, I would have been stopped out at the top of this triangle. Would I have had the balls to get back into the short trade, as it could not hold the top of this triangle? And the answer is I really don't know. Because if this one candle was a 9 candle, like here, the one candle on 125, 1900 Eastern, if this one candle was a 9 candle, I would have immediately shorted off of this resistance cluster being a 9, like here and here. Like this is a shortable green one because it's coming off a 9 and the doji candle. This is a shortable green 9 because by now the symmetric triangle is fully established. So this is a short. Because this is not a 9, I may not have shorted here. If I did not short there was a small possibility that I would have shorted this market based on my own rules right here at the bottom of this area, because normally I wait for a red 2 trading below a red 1, but this candle was so bad, and this candle starts out so bad, and we're falling below the prior low, having established a lower closing high, okay? So there is a decent chance I would have shorted here. My other short, or my doubling down of the position, would have came in this area, because this area would have been a red number trading below a prior red number, and the eventual break of this symmetric triangle to the downside. But the next candle never traded below that candle, and we bounced off the bottom of the triangle, okay, and went up, and look, we've now hit the top of the triangle. So I don't know how much clearer this triangle can possibly be, but it's coming to an end. It's really coming to an end, and it has to break one way or the other, okay? So right now, I would create a no trade zone between the low here and the high here. It's kind of like a double high in a way, right? And you can maybe lower this to there, right? It's up to you, really. They're about the same. Okay, you can split the middle. And let's see, this is 10,200. And this is 11,650. Okay, so this is that rough area right now where you're waiting for the triangle to break in one direction or another. Okay, and that's the 4-hour chart. The 1-hour chart, I know even my clients don't have this aggressive 13. Would have been helpful. Pretty much called the bottom of yesterday's panic in the prices. That was nice. But right now we're in the middle of nowhere, so it's useless. I still have Venzen's charts. Again, like he's the, this is the 5-minute Bitstamp. Oh, I didn't know we were looking at a 5-minute. And this is, why do they look like the same thing? Oh, so I don't have like access to his chart. So if he adjusted on his end, I get to see his adjustments. So probably the last time I'm going to show him. I don't think he watches my videos anyway. Yeah, so I guess as he's adjusting these timestamps, they're being adjusted on my end as well. So this is kind of what Venzen is looking at. We're now in different parts of Thailand. I think these are different. Oh, it's the same thing. It's actually the same chart. I don't need both of them. Yeah, so here's his 15-minute chart, but hey, he's the expert at reading his charts. I don't like to read other people's charts. So I'm going to go ahead and close it. And oh, I'm speaking here. I'm speaking at the Bitcoin Economic Forum in Singapore, and officially starts February 4th. So this is the first day with speakers and stuff. So Sunday, February 4th. But I am not actually speaking till the last day, day 3. So that's when I'm on stage, mostly talking about ICOs and how much I love them. Sarcasm, guys, sarcasm. That's about it for me. Let's talk about the news. This is the Tone Vase watch list, the Bitcoin sanity check. 18 members. I gotta maybe adjust some of the members. So let's see if there's anything interesting going on. Those not sure what this means, essentially Coinbase included a fee that was roughly 11 times the necessary amount. When you can consider use better wallets with SegWit and adjustable fees like Samurai Wallet and Green Address, right? So again, right, stop blaming the Bitcoin Core developers for your high fees. Put the blame where the blame belongs. With companies like Coinbase, with companies like blockchain.info, with companies like BitPay, these companies that probably have no freaking business being in the space because their senior management is grossly incompetent and doesn't understand the technology and doesn't hire the proper CTOs and doesn't work with the core developers to provide you with lower fees, okay? Fees are down to 20 Satoshis per byte. I'll send that Bitcoin off Coinbase now, and it would be pretty reasonable. Oh, this transaction could have saved about 87%. Exactly, right? Like right now, like I said, last night, someone sent me a Bitcoin transaction, paid a 16-cent fee, and it cleared pretty damn quickly. And Coinbase, that's supposed to be the leader in this space, is charging you $5, okay? Put the blame where blame belongs. All right, so let's see what else we got. Anastar Linsner. XRP preys on uninformed people to pump their worthless shitcoin. That is 100% correct. Okay, let's see what Junsef said. Does it matter that same-day ACH exists, or are we going to continue pretending Ripple solves the problem? Correct, right? Ripple, it doesn't solve anything, right? Ripple token is totally useless, and it's a scam coin brought to you by Jeb McCaleb after he scammed Mark Karpelès into doing prison time. Look into that. Look into the history of Ripple. You're not going to like what you find. But if you're an investor in Ripple, you have no interest in looking at the history of Ripple. Here is something I've been saying for years. The fastest way, well, not that part, right? This part. If you can't understand it, it's probably a scam, right? Now, Bitcoin was pretty simple for me to understand, right? When I finally sat down and took a look at it. When I finally took a look at Bitcoin, it was pretty easy for me to understand. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm an idiot. Why didn't I understand? Why didn't I read this earlier? I guess a quote from Greg Smith is the guy that wrote a book talking all this shit about Goldman Sachs, and then he was demonized for it. The fastest way to make money on Wall Street is to sell the most complex product to the most dumb customer. And that explains the crypto space very well, very well. Okay. Bitcoin is pretty easy. It costs as much money to attack the network as to be honest. Most people don't want to take advantage, hence they're being honest. Okay. I think it was, where was that tweet? Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute as well. You know what? Let me do this. Open link in new tab. Oh, hey guys, also on my website, I know my website is from 1993. That was on purpose. But for some reason, I'm having trouble formatting my WordPress. There's supposed to be pictures here. So I have migrated my affiliate code pimping and referral codes, and I'm trying to, slowly build out a page on my website. But for some reason, it doesn't really work, and I don't know why. Let me go to an incognito window. Liberty Life Trail. I want to check something. I think it has to do with my, I think I'm having a problem with, yeah, see? I think I'm having a problem with cache, and something's not caching right. So I'm going to build out my affiliate links on this website, but I have more to do. I only have like 3 here so far. And I'm like struggling formatting on my actual Google Chrome. I don't know why that's happening. Anyway, just a heads up. So I can close that. So if I go to my notifications, I'll get to your Q&A in 1 minute. Yeah, I know. I have the same triangle. Yeah, I'm aware. I have the same triangle. Thank you. Thank you for pointing out what I just showed on camera. Someone wrote something cool the other day. I get so many notifications that hold on a second. I'm looking for one specific one that I saw yesterday. I don't know what this is about. I don't pay attention to Roger Ver. I have a lot of notifications, guys. I'm looking for one specific one. Here we go. Yeah, so this was cool. Thank you, Greg. I should probably retweet this. I don't retweet people often. So Greg wrote to me, I got my first Bitcoin in 2011, and yet I still don't understand what NAM is. We all don't. I remember talking about NAM with the creator of NAM back when he was writing NAM for his PhD thesis. His name was Nakamoto? No, not Nakamoto. I forgot the guy's name already that was writing the NAM paper. I remember Tone Vase once said, "I used to not understand projects and would thus think that I was the idiot. I realize now that when I don't understand a project, they're the idiots." Well, they may not be idiots. They may be very smart people that are trying to scam you, or they think they're smart and they believe in the bullshit that they're writing for their PhDs. Okay, so I'm actually going to retweet that. Right, and I said this long ago. Now let me tell you how I came to this conclusion. This happened to me, I believe, in 2014. In 2014, I was at the New York Bitcoin Center, and I was in a pretty long discussion with the founder, CEO, original CEO, the architect of Hyperledger, who I respected at the time. We were in group chats. He seemed like a very smart guy. His name is Dan O'Prey, the creator of Hyperledger. And he spent about 30 minutes trying to explain Hyperledger to me in 2014 at the New York Bitcoin Center. And I kept looking at him and saying the following: I don't get it. I like sat there like an idiot going, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand what you're doing. I don't understand why you're doing it. Your project, I know it's like 2 years of your work, and you're launching soon. I don't understand what the hell you're doing or why you're doing it. And it was a very frustrating conversation, probably for both of us. And I walked away from that conversation in 2014 thinking, people around here are so smart, I just don't get it. And then about a year and a half later, I realized that I wasn't supposed to get it because Hyperledger didn't make any sense. Any sense at all, okay? And it still doesn't. It's still a complete joke. Like, it's totally useless. And ever since then, like sometime in 2015, early 2015, or mid 2015, I realized that that conversation over Hyperledger is how I should be thinking about these projects. Okay. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. Yeah, I get a lot of notifications. A lot. All right. I guess that's enough of them. Oh, yeah. So and weird things are happening with Ledger from what I'm seeing. Like, I haven't been paying attention. My Ledger is back home somewhere, hidden by home, the United States. And I'll open it up. If my Bitcoin's still there, we'll see. Maybe I'll move it to a Trezor. Also, yeah, the whole NAM thing. So NAM gets hacked, I think, for 500 million, or some exchange gets hacked out of NAM. I mean, NAM is just stupid. It's just stupid. Like, even the guy that created it realized how stupid it was and left the project. And then a bunch of scammers came in. So Google is, YouTube is apparently running ads that are, taking your CPU power to mine it. Hey, I guess it's a good thing I'm paying for YouTube Red, so I don't have to see any more ads ever. So hopefully this avoids me having this issue by looking at YouTube. Okay, so here's another one, right? Here's what you guys have to realize. The Philippine Securities and Exchange Commission filed a cease and desist order against 4 companies and an operator running an initial coin offering ICO, citing security, registration, regulation. Look, because 99.9% of all ICOs are just outright scams, if you even think about doing a legit ICO, you're going to get your ass handed to you by the regulators, because you will not be able to convince them that your ICO is legit and every other ICO is a scam. Because every other ICO is a scam, the default position becomes your ICO is also a scam. It works the opposite way when it comes to IPOs, because 99% of IPOs are legit. You doing an IPO has a default position that you're legit. Now, you might be a scammer doing an IPO looking to exit scam, but that's rare. But the default position is you paid so much money to Goldman Sachs, and there's a big barrier to entry to go IPO. There's a reason for that, right? Because of that barrier to entry, it's assumed that your IPO is going to be legit. It works the other way around in ICOs, okay? All ICOs are scams. It's that simple. It really is that simple, because I will be right 99% of the time. And as a trader, I only need to be right 51% of the time, right? So when I'm right 99% of the time, I have zero problem calling an ICO guy a scammer, even if he's legit, because I will take that 1% chance that I'm wrong. I'll take the 1% chance that I'm wrong. And in 3 years, I'll apologize. Hey, I'm sorry. Your ICO out of 1,000 scams was actually legit, but I was right the other 999 times. Okay? That's a very simple position. Very simple position to take. And all of these ICOs are centralized. They're all going to get busted. I mean, the only people, if you're doing an ICO, and you're not going to get fined, and you're not going to get any jail time, that's just luck. Also because they can't jail everyone, but they know who you are. That's different. Bitcoin is not an ICO, guys. It's very different. All right. That could be interesting. All right, that's enough for me. Let's get to your Q&A. Let's get to your Q&A. Hey, Corey, you still with me? You got any questions for me? Tone, check the Bitcoin chart on August 2nd, 2016. That's the last time Bitcoin broke the 128 simple day moving average with serious volume. It cracked all the way through to the 200 as well. All right, let's go take a look. Here's the daily chart. Let's go to August 2016. I don't see it. Like, here's August 2016, right? This is August 2016, right? Yeah. So August 2nd, 2016. Now, see, that's the 128-day moving average. And we cracked the 50-day moving average. We cracked the 50-day moving average around July 22nd. We fell quickly, and wow, I would have drawn these arrows in real time, guys. These arrows are old. I don't delete my arrows, right? Now, this is an entire year before I ever looked at the numerical indicator on Bitcoin. I didn't start looking at this thing till current summer, right? So I started looking at this thing in July of this year. So I would not have seen this 9. I didn't have the code written. But it's nice to see that it bounced right off the 9. And then look where it reversed off the 9 on the other side. All right, so that's pretty neat. Whoa, that's kind of cool, right? Well, not really, but because this would have sucked. What happened on this day? I don't know if that's a data glitch or what. I'm not sure. But this was the 120-day moving average. Maybe that's where the 200-day moving average is. I don't know. Indicators, favorites, moving averages. Let me add 200. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. No, it's way lower. Let's delete that. Yeah, so that's another 9 right there. And that's another 9 right there, giving you a correction. You know, there's a 9, there's a 13, there's a 13. You know, this cluster right here telling you to be careful. And then we got this massive triangle, which I don't have drawn. And then we bust it out, right? All right. Hey, thank you for your donation, Abhi. Throw a question in there next time. I'm gladly answer it. All right. Corey, are you still with me, man? I guess you're not. Maybe my Telegram's not working. Check my phone. Nope. I do want to get to the beach. It's 11 o'clock here, and I have a lot of work to do for my seminars and stuff. All right, let's see what else we got here. Do you think Bitfinex is using 1.6 billion in Tether to manipulate the price of Bitcoin? Guys, I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe. I wish Tether didn't exist. I think Tether is atrocious. I think Tether is a problem. I think Tether is the fiat system in crypto, and it looks like money printing, right? So I don't know. We'll find out when Tether and Bitfinex get busted, right? I never cared about Tether when it was $10 million in market cap for a year and a half, but it has now gone from 10 million to almost 2 billion in the span of what, 6 months, a year? It's ridiculous. What do the hourly flip-flop candles mean? Nothing. It means it's a flip-flop. It means I'm not looking at it. Any project can be a success at any time. It depends on the programmers. That is true, but the probability of that project being a success is less than 1%. So if you're going to bet on every one of those projects, still stupid. And if you're guessing these projects, stupider. Next. Is there a bear flag on the 4-hour tone? I don't like flags, guys. I don't really do flags. I do pennants. I guess. I mean, the 4 hour is now ticking up. I mean, I won't lie to you guys. I mean, I'm bearish here. I'd like to be right, but if I'm not, I'll flip to being a bull when I have to, right? All right, I'm gonna go to screen share. Enough charts. Do you think it's likely that people will buy the dip before 7.5 thousand, similar to how the bottom came at 5.4 thousand after the 7.5 thousand all-time high? Absolutely. There is a lot more adoption equals more competing dip buyers. Correct. That is absolutely correct. There is a high chance that even though I am looking for 7,500 on the low, there is a high probability that we will bounce before getting to 7,500, like 7,600, 7,750, something like that, right? There's also a possibility that we breach 7.5 thousand and people get discouraged and then we immediately bounce to the upside. Like all of that can happen. I mean, this is why trading is one of the most difficult jobs in the world. I mean, me and Andy, so the question is, what do you say about Andy Hoffman? I mean, what do you want me to say about Andy Hoffman? I mean, he has his beliefs, I have mine. we're pretty much 99% in line with the fundamentals of Bitcoin. We're both bullish Bitcoin. We disagree on gold manipulation. I mean, it looks like he's not happy with me calling for a bear market, but this has nothing to do with fundamentals. This just has to do with technicals. I think Bitcoin is long-term undervalued. People ask me, Tone, when is a good time to buy Bitcoin? And my answer is always, yesterday was the best time to buy Bitcoin. Answer to anyone asking me when they should buy Bitcoin. I say, you should have bought it yesterday. You shouldn't even be asking me, okay? But just like my charts were telling you to be bullish when people like Vinny Lingham sold 90% of his Bitcoin, panicking over the hard fork, my charts told me to be bullish. Now, my charts are telling me to be bearish. It has nothing to do with the fundamentals of Bitcoin. Absolutely nothing. Okay? I can separate the fundamentals from technicals. I talk about the technicals. You can go to other people for your fundamentals. Like, I haven't even looked at Bitcoin news the last 4 days, but I'm still able to read charts. Okay, that's how technical analysis works. All right. What would be the worst type of government intervention that could seriously harm Bitcoin? Excellent question. Absolutely excellent question. What would be the worst type of government intervention that could seriously harm Bitcoin? And you might consider my answer dumb. The worst government intervention to completely harm Bitcoin is major governments like US or Australia or Canada, well, maybe not Canada, but European Parliament, which is not going to happen, by the way, like them having this epiphany that money laundering should not exist as a crime. So the worst thing to happen for Bitcoin is admitting that money is a person's property and you cannot confiscate that person's money no different than you can, cut out a person's eye to give it to a guy that is blind because you have two eyes and he has one. So they will choose to take one of your eyes and give it to him. Something like that, right? So when they see money in the same way as human body parts, I guess, that would be the worst type of government intervention, or the removal of government intervention. Let me put it that way. So the worst type of government intervention is actually the removal of government intervention. The Bitcoin's value isn't from the fact that it's a finite money supply, right? Because then we wouldn't have all these shit coins and people believing in all these shit coins, right? Like if you believe in shit coins, then you believe in inflation and you don't believe in a stable money supply. So don't give me your bullshit that Bitcoin and Litecoin can happily coexist. They can't. So if you believe in altcoins, you believe in inflationary money. That's fine. I mean, you can believe in competing currencies. I mean, there's a little debate there, but in my opinion, right, like what gives Bitcoin value has nothing to do with the finite 21 million cap on Bitcoin. Bitcoin could have been like Monero, and me and Peter Todd discussed it. We should do it publicly. I wish I would have recorded that conversation. Me and Peter Todd discussed, the mistakes of Satoshi. It was a really good discussion. I wish I recorded it. And if Satoshi would have created Bitcoin and said, hey, there is a 50 Bitcoin block reward, and there's not a single halving. Like you get 50 Bitcoins every block for the rest of time. But remember, in 100 years, adding 50 Bitcoin to, a billion Bitcoin is not going to make much of a difference, right? So it's inflating 50 Bitcoin every block, but that inflation decreases over time. That would have made absolutely no difference to the popularity of Bitcoin. Bitcoin isn't popular because of its 21 million cap. That was an arbitrary number that Satoshi chose, which may one day turn out to be a mistake. We don't know, right? I mean, inflationists and deflationists are going to be debating Bitcoin's cap for the next 100 years. It's already probably starting. And what gives Bitcoin value is censorship resistance and unconfiscatable money. And if the government decides to apply the principles of censorship resistant payments to their fiat currencies, Bitcoin becomes almost useless. Okay. And people argue with me on this, but that's the fact. It's not complicated, guys. So the worst thing the government can do is give you more freedom in sending your money. And the best thing the government can do for Bitcoin is the elimination of physical cash. That's the greatest thing the government can do for Bitcoin. All right, let's see if there's any other questions. What about BitConnect? It was a Ponzi scheme from the start. I mean, Ethereum is a bigger scam than BitConnect is. I always said it because the BitConnect Ponzi scheme had a very short lifespan, and most people, especially in the world of Bitcoin, understood that BitConnect is just a Ponzi scheme. So I never needed to talk about BitConnect because 99% of my audience, probably 100% of my audience, is not dumb enough to invest in BitConnect. So why am I going to talk about BitConnect? Who am I talking to? You guys all understand it. Ethereum, on the other hand, is a bigger problem because the Ethereum scam, people don't understand why it's a scam. And people constantly ask me, Tone, why do you think Ethereum's a scam? And I'm tired of answering the question. And I'm just answering it, well, keep your money in Ethereum and you're going to find out, right? Because it's just so much more difficult for people to comprehend that Ethereum is the same scam that BitConnect is. It's just not as obvious to them, but it's obvious to me, okay? And most of the smart people I respect in this space, they see it the same way, okay? Like when 100 nuclear scientists are all on the same page on something independently, not in groupthink mode, independently on the same page of something, but you, with no expertise at all in that science, sit there and go, but it's going up in price, and this guy told me that it's good. I mean, I don't want to waste my time explaining it to you. I'm sorry. So the reason why Ethereum is a bigger scam than BitConnect is because in the end, when it ends the same way that BitConnect ends, it'll hurt more people. All right, next question. Do I feel sorry for the people that lost money in BitConnect? A little, right? Because those people don't know better. Am I going to feel sorry for the people that are going to lose money in Ethereum? The answer is no, absolutely not. I won't, because I never talked about BitConnect, but I will not feel sorry for the people that are going to lose all of their money in Ethereum or Ripple or Dash or any other scam coin, because you've been thoroughly warned. And instead of taking my warning, people have just been making fun of me how much money they would have made by investing in these scams instead. So no, I will not feel sorry for you at all. All right, my chat is, I guess I'm going through these questions kind of slow. Shoot. So where am I? I don't know. I lost my place in the never-ending scroll. Do you read the order book to make trades? No, I have never looked at the order book, not in traditional markets, not in the crypto markets. I find the order book completely useless because I just find the order book totally useless because anything on there can be removed any second. A lot of them are spoof trades. They're just trying to trick you to make you look at the order book a certain way. Bots will remove those trades. Like, there's just nothing there. Oh, guys, I don't want to check Litecoin right now. Maybe next video. Yeah, the Venzen interview was really good. I'm going to try and meet up with Venzen once a year here in Thailand, and we'll bring you guys more content. Nobody knows how long the bear cycle is going to last. I should do my time analysis, like when I kind of predicted SegWit happening, or something important happening the day of SegWit, like 3 years earlier. Yeah, I don't know where I was. Investopedia defines earnings season as the first or second week after the last month of the quarter. So January 1st to 12th, April. No, that's very incorrect. I mean, Netflix reported earnings last Monday. Google and Amazon are reporting earnings next week. So is Apple, so is Facebook. Like, no, that's, no, and the current earnings season is the longest one. I mean, the Q4 earnings season that gets reported in January lasts 6 weeks. This is the longest earnings season. The other earnings seasons really only last 4 weeks. Yeah, I don't know where I was in the chat window. It does weird things sometimes. So I don't know what questions I'm on. All right, here I just found another question. Once Lightning becomes big, what incentive do people have to still use the actual blockchain? Only reason I see is if the Lightning nodes don't have the liquidity to process their transactions. Well, we don't know yet, right? However, if you have to make a really serious transaction, and I personally think that Lightning nodes will give you more privacy than on-chain transactions will. So I'm not exactly sure why you would use an on-chain transaction in the future. You would basically, if anything, you would have like a very small Lightning node where where every Lightning node on that is like a Tor node, and maybe they're like all yours. Like I'm not sure, right? Because I think you would be able to. I'm not the right person to answer this technologically, but I would expect Lightning to have more privacy tools than on-chain. Now, if there is sufficient on-chain anonymity tools, then you may not trust the Lightning participants in your node, even if they're all, darknet web websites and Pirate Bay and other Tor style Lightning points. So you may want to do your very private transaction directly on chain if there are sufficient tools like Mimblewimble and others to give you full privacy for an on-chain transaction. But the reality is, you probably won't be using on-chain transactions going forward once Lightning actually, works and is safe and scales. I mean, what do you do with TCP/IP? What do you do with it? I mean, I don't know what I do with it, right? I use websites. I mean, the back end deals with the TCP/IP layer of the internet, and that's how I believe the Bitcoin blockchain is going to be. You're just going to be using everything as a secondary layer. Now, you can claim that's not Satoshi's vision, but you'd be wrong, because your Btrash on chain will not scale. It will be a complete disaster. All right, how long have I been on? I think I started at 10:30, right, guys? So I've been on for about an hour. I think that's enough. Or did I start at 10 a.m.? I don't remember. See, I don't even know how long my videos run. Are there coins you believe are not scams? Sure, Litecoin, Monero, Dogecoin. They're not scam coins. I just think they're useless. Oh, there goes the chat moving again. All right, I'm sure I didn't get to all of your questions, but yeah, I mean, the plan of, I mean, from what I understand it, when I listened to, and I refer to them as Tweedledee and Tweedledum, Andrew Stone and Peter R. When I heard them speak at the scaling, you know what? It's embarrassing for me to call it a scaling Bitcoin conference, because half of that scaling had nothing to do with Bitcoin. So I don't think I'm planning to attend any more of those. But they spoke about having 1 gigabyte blocks, and that's just retarded. That's just bad. So they're completely clueless. Man. All right, guys. On this note, I'm gonna call it a day. Maybe I'll face the camera into my apartment. Let me do this. So here, check out where I'm staying. This is the balcony. I should probably gone the other way. Let's go this way. My little balcony here, my workstation. I'm just turning the camera here. Boom. My little apartment here in Thailand. It was actually not expensive at all, which is cool. I'll be here for, I don't know, 5 days maybe, and then it's time to move on. But yeah, and then like the bedroom is behind the kitchen, so it has no like windows. But this is pretty cool. I'm enjoying this. Oops. Okay, and let me show you what the outside looks like. Let me get the tripod. Yeah, I managed to get lucky with like cool, cheap apartments. All right, let's see here. Give you guys some scenery. A bunch of people already dropped off. That's fine. Boom. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like. See that? Pretty neat, huh? That's like the pool, and the beach is over there somewhere. I have to figure out how to get to it. But there you go. That's the that's how I'll be living for the next week or so. All right, guys. Hope you had a good one. And calling it a day, and see you all on the next one.